as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome to FireHouse Chefs Radio, everyone. I'm glad you can tune in once again and join us here at FHC Radio for episode 29. I think it's 29. February 12th, 2014, and we're glad that you're here with us tonight. You can catch FireHouse Chefs Radio every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at the rantradionetwork.com. And remember, you can also find all archived episodes of FireHouse Chefs Radio at rantradionetwork.com as well. You can catch us live every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. as well on firehousechefs.com. And again, we're glad to have you with us for the ride. I'm your host, Eddie Sell. I'm a Southern California fire captain, chef, and the creator of FireHouse Chefs. And tonight I'm going to be hopefully joined later by one of my trusty co-hosts, but I think he's a little bit stuck in the restaurant world right now. So good old Luis Navarro is at Lola's Mexican Cuisine in Long Beach, California, trying to get over to us. So Luis, if you're tuning in right now, I get it. I know what it's like in the restaurant world, so hopefully he can get here soon. But we miss you, and it'll be nice to have you in studio. Also, a little quick shout out to Luis Hernandez, my other trusty co-host, who's actually working his day job right now as a firefighter here in Los Angeles County. So hopefully we will have Luis, but that's okay because you have me and a great in-studio guest tonight. So it's actually going to be a very cool show. We're joined by Dr. Todd Foreman tonight, and Todd is a very, very interesting guy. There he is. Everybody say hi to Todd. Applause. And Todd is, yes, he's a real doctor, and not only that, but he's a musician. So, in fact, I met with one of my good buddies earlier this evening, Joe Wojak, and when I mentioned you were going to be on the show, he just said, and he probably knows how to weld and probably knows how to do all those other things too on top of that stuff. But, we'll have to ask him about that stuff. He was being pretty funny about that. So Todd is actually, I mentioned, a musician, and he's he played horns. He was the horn player for the band Sublime. And Todd is also a member of the band called Jelly of the Month Club. And Jelly of the Month Club is a kids band, and it's going to be fun being able to find out everything about all that background, because that's pretty unique. And Todd was born and raised in Long Beach, California, so he's a local guy. So we have a lot of Long Beach folks that come on FireHouse Chefs Radio that are part of, not only, as you guys know, by watching our show, not only the fire department connection, but also entrepreneurs and just different people from the community. So it's great having Todd here in studio with us. Remember, our phone number is 855-969-7268, 855-969-RANT, R-A-N-T. You can give us a call, talk to us about topics in that range anywhere from the culinary world, fire service, any of those questions related to nutrition and fitness. And I kind of thought that tonight, with having Todd here in studio, that not only with getting his story, his background, finding out about his just obviously his passion for music, but we are in flu season, and I know from what I do on my day job that all the hospitals right now are just really, really stretched to the capacity. A lot of people are sick, so I thought it would be interesting to kind of tie in whether it's like home remedies or some of the stuff that we hear out there in terms of like cooking, how that kind of relates to better health, and maybe making you feel better as well, like when you do have some sort of ailment. And who better than a doctor to have in studio and ask some of those questions. So give us a call, and again, it's 855-969-RANT, 855-969-7268. And I also wanted to mention that Firehouse World is happening next week, February 16th through the 20th, and that's going to be held down at the San Diego Convention Center. That's actually an annual event that takes place, which is essentially a conference, if you will, and convention for firefighters all over the world that converge on San Diego, and they have classes. They have all the latest and greatest equipment in the fire service. It's a great opportunity to network and learn some things. So that's actually taking place next week. But more importantly, or one of the things that's actually going on there is they're going to have an involvement from the Los Angeles County Fire Museum, and that's obviously an organization that's near and dear to me. And they're going to have, I believe, Squad 51 is going to be down there from the show Emergency. So Engine and Squad 51 from the television show Emergency from the 1970s is actually housed at the yeah, it's super cool, at the Bellflower facility. And they occasionally make a trek to different cool venues like that. So if you go to firehouseworld.com, there's actually some discounted, actually free exhibit hall admission passes that you can get. And if you've never been there, it's actually pretty cool. And literally a portion of the convention center is full of fire trucks, and the ladders are extended and all this equipment that firefighters use. So it's pretty cool. And like I mentioned earlier too, we did happen to earlier tonight I ran into Joe Wojak, and Joe is a fire captain, and he's also the vice president of the LA County Fire Museum. And it was kind of odd that the circumstances of running into him today, but I was really, really glad to see him. And for those of you that don't know, Joe actually lost his son Kevin in June, this past June of 2013. Kevin Wojak was one of the 19 firefighters that was killed in Arizona. He was one of the Granite Mountain hotshots. So, Joe definitely said, hey, throw a little shout out to those guys. And as you know, we always try to do that and just pay our respects to those that have given everything, whether it's fire service heroes or obviously our military that continues to do that day in and day out. We want to just thank everybody for their service, and just let them know that in talking about them and in just learning from their example of what they were able to do for us as far as just giving their all, we will keep them forever alive in our memories. So just thanks to you guys again, and it was good to see you tonight, Joe. So just remember, please, that tonight it's going to be really, really cool for you guys to call in with any sort of questions or comments. And I'm curious. I want to know if Mom's chicken soup is really something that's good, or tea. There's a million of them these days, especially, and it'd be cool to kind of hear what Todd has to say about some of those things. Or if you have the flu, what do they say? Do they feed a cold, starve the flu, or the other way around?
Yeah, I think in general you don't want to eat too much when you're sick. I think your digestive system will take on a life of its own if you eat too much when you're ill. So I generally tell you hydration is the key.
There you go. Hydration is the key. I tend to want to go to In-N-Out, no matter how bad I'm feeling, because it just makes you feel good, period. Or at least makes this part feel good.
That's right.
Maybe not your stomach, but yeah, your mind and your heart for a little bit anyway. So I don't know, Julio, are you just let me know on time, because I don't have the timer right now. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. So the timer's not working tonight, so occasionally technology doesn't serve us, but what's that? Okay, just checking. Sometimes we got to get a little bit of information from our engineer, Julio. So I also wanted to remind everybody in upcoming shows, we're actually going to have photographer Lon Doan that's going to be coming in, and Lon is a fantastic photographer that I've actually worked with on several FireHouse Chefs related projects. He actually did the photo shoot when we appeared in Urban Ink Tattoo Magazine and some other magazines that he's done a lot of work for, fashion industry. He does a lot of amazing stuff. So he's going to be coming in studio soon. We also have some other great guests that are going to be that we're going to kind of reveal to you shortly as well in the next coming weeks. So We're very, very happy that everything continues to move along nicely here at Firehouse Chefs Radio. And of course, you guys listening and watching every week are a big, big part of it. And again, let me remind you too that you can always catch all those archived episodes if you just go to rantradionetwork.com and click on Firehouse Chefs Radio. You'll be able to find all those different episodes that you've missed before. And we've actually have had incredible guests here. We've had celebrity chefs. We've had local chefs. We've had firefighters. We've had musicians. We've actually had bands, playing here. And Todd kind of mentioned that, perhaps in the future we'll be able to have some more of his band members here, and we can get a little bit of a live show. But we will be able to play some of Todd's music tonight and let the fans out there hear some of that. So we're probably coming down to now maybe about 30 seconds or so. Okay, I'm close. About a minute left. So when we come back after the commercial break, we're going to introduce Dr. Todd Foreman, and we're going to get to hear all about his background. We're going to get to hear all about the combination of juggling, obviously, a medical practice with being a musician, and what inspired him to do both, which I think is really, really intriguing. And again, kind of get into some of the topics that correlate with the time of the year right now. So we'll make sure that we wash our hands in between the commercial breaks, and no sneezing or coughing. This is Firehouse Chefs Radio, and let me remind you, phone number is 855-969-7268, 855-969-RANT, R-A-N-T. And Julio's giving me the keep going sign. See what happens when we don't have good timers or anything like that? Give me a countdown. Let me see. Give me the fingers. What am I down to? Oh, it's a 10 count now? Oh, okay. Perfect. So we're closing in on the 10 count. And again, I'm just going to extend that little hello to Joe Wojak out there. And he was going to try to listen tonight. So, and again, to Kevin and the other 18 firefighters that gave their all that day in June 2013, the Grand Mountain Hotshots. We love you, and we'll never forget. Stay tuned for more. You're listening to Firehouse Chefs Radio on the Rant Radio Network. Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
Been in an accident? Then you need your vehicle professionally repaired. That's exactly what you get when you bring your vehicle to Greg's Auto Body Repair. Free quotes within minutes. We will provide everything you need for a hassle-free auto body repair, from an accurate estimate to working with your insurance company. We will get your vehicle to its pre-accident condition as soon as possible. Greg's Auto Body has been serving Los Angeles County and local cities since 1970. Call us at 562-789-1300.
Do we have your attention? When it comes to tequila, two things matter: heart and passion. Never compromising integrity for mass production. Number one Tequila delivers the goods. Taste the heart and passion of Mexico in every bottle. We make it right. We make it fun. Superior Tequila. There's only number one. There's only number one. There's only number one.
Looking for a delicious, fresh family meal that's ready when you are and easy on your budget? Welcome to Piara Pizza. We make our pizzas with handmade dough, 100% real cheese, and tomato sauce blended with our own spices. Nothing is ever frozen. We always have large pepperoni and cheese pizzas fresh and waiting for you for only $5. Or choose one of our specialty pizzas. We have veggie, meat lovers, supreme, and Hawaiian. Add an order of our amazing hot wings, cheesy bread, or breadsticks. Our locations are ultra-modern, ultra-clean, and open 7 days a week. Visit any one of our locations today, or check us out on the web at www.piarapizza.com. Piara Pizza. Fresh, hot, and ready for you when you come in. Stop in for your Piara Pizza today.
A home is the biggest investment in most people's lives. Buying or selling should be a positive experience.
Whether you want to be a wealthy real estate investor or just trying to find a place to call home. At AJR & Associates, we focus on the client's needs.
We understand the market better than most. Let us bring the value to you and make the right choice.
AJR & Associates, making your dream house a reality. Call us today for a free consultation at 562-882-1976. Or you can log on to www.hrrealtors.com.
With a track record of great results, bringing knowledge, wisdom, and expertise to you. Hablamos español.
Welcome to FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to FireHouse Chefs Radio, everyone. I am your host, Eddie Sell, and this is FireHouse Chefs Radio for February 12th, 2014. And this is episode 29. Already, 8 or 9 months down here doing this, and it's been an amazing ride, and we really, really appreciate all of our guests and all the listeners out there in the FireHouse Chefs community. So thank you so much. Again, I'll remind you that you can catch us every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at rantradionetwork.com. And you can give us a call at 855-969-RANT, 855-969-7268. As I mentioned in the opening segment, tonight I'm actually joined in studio by our guest, Todd Foreman. And Todd is a doctor, and along with being a doctor here in Southern California, he's also a musician. And he's played for a band that you guys may have heard of, possibly, a band called Sublime. And along with that, he's also are you considered a founding member of Jelly of the Month Club?
Yes,
Okay.
Founding member of Jelly of the Month Club.
Founding member of Jelly of the Month Club. And Todd, with that, welcome to FireHouse Chefs Radio.
Thanks for having me, Eddie.
Of course.
Appreciate being here.
Yeah, and it's cool the way we met. We actually met through mutual friends, and Todd, growing up in Long Beach, he actually knows several Long Beach firefighters, so it's pretty cool.
That's right. I don't know how to weld, by the way, but my buddy John Wright, neighbor,
yeah, he does.
he gives a shout out to you. I was surfing with him earlier today.
Oh, cool.
And man, he knows how to do everything. His
Yeah.
garage is enviable for sure.
Well, and that's what's pretty cool about, and Todd can attest to this, a lot of guys that are firefighters, they have different skills and attributes, which is pretty cool. So, and even recently, right now, I know my fire department is going through a hiring phase, and we have a lot of candidates that are coming by the firehouse, and I'm actually taken back by some of these people and the skills that they possess, not only serving their country and former military people, but a gentleman that was a graduate from Yale University, and just these different, really unique backgrounds, and they want to become firefighters ultimately because they have a calling, and it's a calling to not only help people, but they seek some sort of challenge in their life, and I think they understand that being a firefighter affords them that sort of profession, and they can still obviously dabble into other things that they want to do on their off time. So it's pretty cool. But if you guys are looking right now online at rantradionetwork.com, you could see the album cover for the Jelly of the Month Club, and that's pretty cool. And I remember when I first looked at that, I love the animation. And Todd is if you're looking at it, he's the gentleman on the bottom left-hand side with the glasses.
With the Jesse Raphael glasses.
Yeah, exactly.
There. Yeah, no, Cameron Schuyler is a fantastic artist and did our album cover.
Okay. Yeah, that's super cool. Yeah. So, Todd, why don't we just start off with obviously you have a very, very unique background. You're a doctor, obviously, but have you just always been into music, or how did you end up doing both, basically?
Well, Eddie, that's a long story.
Yeah,
I don't know how much time you have. But, I've always loved music. My mom was a pianist, and she a great piano player. So we had a baby grand piano in our house. as I grew up, and had a great teacher, Mr. Tooker, that I started at when I was about 8 years old. And then in Long Beach, we had a great music program throughout the city of Long Beach for the Long Beach Unified School District. And it started at about third grade, where they'd have one of the local music shops. Whitaker Music would come in with all the instruments. Of course, they want to sell some
cool.
instruments, right?
Sure.
So the guy comes in
worked,
and
though.
he shows off all the instruments. And I came home a little confused. I said, "Mom, I want to play clarinet. Really want to play the clarinet." And so she went out, and she, being a great mom, she's facilitating me through my life. She came back with a clarinet, and I said, "That's not a clarinet." And what I was thinking was a saxophone was a clarinet. So she's like, "Well, I already leased it, so you're going to play this for a year, and if you keep with it, then you can play the saxophone too."
Okay.
And so I got a teacher, a great teacher, Mr. Olson at Gilmore Music on 7th and Cherry in Long Beach.
Sure.
And I took lessons from him on both clarinet and saxophone. And he was this great 40s swing guy. I mean, he really came from the old school and all these old swing bands, and taught me how he learned on both clarinet and saxophones all through. I took every week, was down there through high school. So about a decade of lessons with him, and accompanied with these great music programs in Long Beach, starting in elementary school. And then in junior high at Hill Junior High School, we had a great jazz band with Mr. Elmgreen there, and great marching band through high school. At Wilson High School, we had over 100 plus, huge drum corps, just fantastic bands, orchestras, and jazz bands with a great history. And just being a part of that, you grow up in Long Beach, and what do you know? There's some pretty great musicians that come out of Long Beach, from Snoop Dogg to Sublime. There's some really cool things. So I was actually playing with a garage band, a bunch of kids who were also in the jazz band in high school, and we got to do some cool gigs in Hollywood, and it kind of built naturally from there.
Okay.
And I was a ham. I loved being in front of. I was wearing sunglasses in the jazz band and playing solos and stuff.
So what led you to the particular, the horns, obviously, as opposed to, the other string instruments, as far as like what you ended up doing for Sublime? How did that just happen with the lineup?
Sure. Well, I stuck with the horns because, again, I had mentioned earlier, I really was fascinated by swing jazz. After a Pop Warner football game when I was about 11 years old, my parents and I were going real near here, right by Knott's Berry Farm. We saw a big sign saying "Swing Bands Tonight," and we went in. I was still wearing my football uniform, and we saw all the greatest swing bands in the country were playing in one place, including Count Basie. So I was 11 years old and actually got to see Count Basie's orchestra live with Count Basie, and that just really stuck with me as something that I always wanted to do. And then when I started getting into rock and roll in junior high and starting to listen to bands live, I said, "Man, I got to do this. This is something that's really fun." So I met the guys from Sublime after I graduated from high school from a mutual friend, Greg Odell, who had played in a lot of these rock bands throughout school. The guys in Sublime, the lead singer, Bradley Knoll, God rest his soul, he graduated from high school and actually attended college. The other guys were, more into music, and actually, I don't know if they ever finished high school, but were fantastic musicians that had grown up across the street from each other. And Eric Wilson's dad was a drummer and a swing jazz drummer who'd played in all the municipal bands in Long Beach, and they lived right across from each other.
That actual the municipal band that they have, right? Okay.
Yeah, and so Eric Wilson's dad actually taught Bud Gaw, the drummer for Sublime, how to play drums.
Wow. And
they've known each other. They know each other since childhood, and that's why you got such a great tight knit, rhythm section there with those two guys. And then you throw Brad Knoll on top of it, whose dad was always into music and reggae music, and took Brad down to Jamaica when he was a kid, and then came back and loved this reggae music. And then you had Bud Gaw and Eric Wilson, who were into punk rock, really into hard rock, punk rock. And Long Beach at that time had a fantastic punk rock scene, had some really great venues where every major punk rock band came in and played in. And we had a lot of great bands that came out of Long Beach, the Vandals and the Falling Idols, and just up the way were a lot of other great punk rock bands. that it was a hotbed of music. We didn't really know it at the time, but it was just
the
part of the
whole
culture.
LA, Orange County,
Yeah.
social D, and Bad Religion. Everybody is
That's
from
right.
around there.
That's right.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
So what were your influences along with jazz and that kind of that big band music? Do you have roots in punk rock as well?
Not so much. I grew up, for better or for worse. I was the youngest by 9 years. My brother and two sisters were 12, 10, and 9 years older than me. And so I was born in '69. And so really I was exposed to all of the great pop rock, disco, all Grease, all of the things in the '70s that
Sure.
my parents listened to and my brother and sisters listened to. America and all the popular
Classic rock though.
Pink Floyd,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
absolutely,
Very cool.
everything.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and probably more of an adult exposure because I had such older siblings growing up that I kind of had maybe a deeper appreciation or more of an exposure to more adult music.
Okay, yeah, that's outstanding. And then, so obviously, you started really ramping up that music throughout your childhood, growing up, high school, and then obviously you went away to college. So when you decided to go to college and then medical school after that, did you keep up with playing, or did you do that just to kind of, relieve some stress from all those medical books, or?
Yeah, I
happened
always,
there?
I from an early age, I always liked a balance. There was a point in time after, towards the end of medical school and in my training as a resident and then teaching at USC where I didn't play much music, but it was always a part of my life growing up, and I continued that through high school and college. Always played in the jazz band. Josh Redman is a great jazz tenor saxophonist who was in the jazz band that I got to be in with him my freshman year at Harvard. And just got exposed to some great players. Always kept that up going through college. I was into acting a little bit. Did some musical theater.
Cool.
Yeah, there's a thing called the Hasty Pudding Theatrical, which is actually a drag show. Where
Like a la Hamburger Mary's?
pretty much. I mean, there's 16. There's 16 guys that they recruit, and they love to recruit athletes such as myself. I played baseball and water polo, and there's one of my good friends was a football player from Harvard who ended up in the show.
That's cool.
And you go out there and sing your heart out in high heels, So that was, an interesting experience. Matt Damon was a roommate of mine for a semester.
Really?
Yeah, so got the acting bug through him. Man, he was on his way up even at an early age.
That's so
Very
funny.
talented guy.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, that's obvious, and in fact, Good Will Hunting's been making its rounds again lately on cable, and that's by far one of my favorite movies, especially from him. I mean,
he was writing that when I was when he was rooming with me.
That's so cool. Well, we're coming up on a hard commercial break here, so you're listening to FireHouse Chefs Radio. We're here with Dr. Todd Foreman, musician and physician, pretty amazing guy. 855-969-RANT, 855-969-7268. Give us a call, and we appreciate you listening. This is FHC Radio, episode 29. We'll catch you on the flip side. Don't burn anything down. FireHouse Chefs will be right back.
What's wrong?
I can't stop craving a cigarette. I just quit. Hey, what are you smoking on?
Oh, this? Best e-juice on the planet. Burst of flavor, of course.
What's that?
Only the best alternative to smoking with a great flavor. It has a burst of flavor in every puff.
Well, does it have nicotine?
It comes in different levels, including 0. They have 20 flavors and more coming. All the products are made in the U.S. Check them out at www.burstoflavor.com or call them at 855-WE-BURST.
Hey, let's burst together.
It's not just flavor, it's an experience. Cigarettes, you've met your match.
Are you watching the game at home? Why? Come watch it at Mambo Grill, the hottest spot in Downey. You'll have good food, drinks, and a great time at a low price. We have the coldest beer in our sports bar, where you can enjoy the game on any of our huge flat screen TVs. And when your home team wins, you get 25% off anything in Mambo Grill. We're on Downey Avenue, 1 block north of Firestone, or visit us on the web. Mambo Grill, love at first bite.
Hey, bro, this is a good game. You know what would make it better?
What, bro?
A michelada.
A michelada? What's a michelada?
A michelada is somewhere in the middle of a Mexican Bloody Mary and a Mexican margarita.
Oh, I got you covered, bro.
You got a cup in your pocket?
No, sir. I got my pocket-sized michelada. Mucho macho michelada.
Pocket size?
Pocket size, so you can take it with you anywhere you go.
Where'd you get that at?
At the nearest convenience store, and you can also buy it at muchomachomichelada.com.
You know what will make it better? After we get drunk, if they had a line we can call.
We can call their drunk line. You can leave a message and then log on to the site and listen to your stupidity afterwards.
What's that number?
It's 855-MICHE-69.
What's that number again?
855-MICHE-69.
Awesome. Mucho macho michelada.
ProTech Carpet Tile and Care provides professional cleaning services for carpet, tile, grout, upholstery, and fine area rugs.
ProTech technicians are professionally trained and certified cleaning and restoration experts.
We specialize in restoring damage caused by heavy soil and odor.
We can remove challenging spots such as coffee, tea, ink, gum, wine, and many more.
We have saved our customers thousands of dollars on new flooring and furniture expenses with our advanced cleaning processes.
Call for a free estimate at 562-447-4300 and visit us on our website, www.myprotechsite.com.
Hey, this is Joe Perez, owner at ProTech. Just reminding you that ProTech Carpet and Tile Care is your professional choice.
Welcome to FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. So, welcome back to FireHouse Chefs Radio, everybody. I am your host, Eddie Sell. This is FHC Radio for February 12th, 2014. Episode 29. Remember that you can catch us every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at rantradionetwork.com. Also at firehousechefs.com, you can catch us live as well. You can find archived shows at rantradionetwork.com. Click on FHC Firehouse Chefs Radio, and you'll find all the fantastic guests and episodes. And we are joined by, and I just got a text, by the way, from Chef Louis Navarro in Long Beach, and he's not going to be able to make it, and he feels really bad. But I appreciate you trying, buddy, and don't feel that bad. I get it, you know. But you better make me something good next time we go over there, and maybe I'll pay him a visit tomorrow on the fire engine and just say hi, because we believe in supporting our local businesses. So just a little shout out to him. So we're joined in studio by Dr. Todd Foreman, and as I mentioned, he is a musician and actually plays in a couple of bands. One is Sublime, another one is the Jelly of the Month Club, where he's a founding member. And it looks like we have a call right now, so we're going to go ahead and get to our caller. Bob, on line one, you are on Firehouse Chefs Radio. Are you there?
Yeah, how you doing, Eddie?
I'm good, sir. How are you? Thanks for calling Firehouse Chefs Radio.
Thank you. I'm a big fan, long-time listener.
Oh, thank you, sir. Well, we appreciate you calling in, Bob. And I don't know if you happen to hear the show so far, but we're actually joined in studio by a gentleman that is not only a doctor, but he's been in the band Sublime and another band called the Jelly of the Month Club, which is a kids band, actually. And they make really, really cool music that is geared towards kids. It's clean. No, you mentioned Snoop Dogg, your other Long Beach buddy, but there's no Snoop Dogg lyrics going on.
It's just a lot of farting. That's about as dirty as it gets.
Yeah. So, what do you think about that, Bob?
Oh, that's great. Yeah, I love children's music. Actually, I'm good friends with Red Grammer. He's one of the greatest children artists out there, long time. I don't know if you've heard of him.
Are you familiar with him?
No, I'm going to write his name down right now.
What is he known for, Bob?
For children's music. Actually, he's won a lot of platinum and gold records. A lot of his albums have won a lot of awards.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he from?
I don't know if you heard of. Have you heard of Andy Grammer? Andy Grammer is his son. He's also a big artist right now.
Andy Grammer and Red Grammer. No, you know what? We'll look that up and look into that. That's pretty cool. Is there a certain genre, or were they pretty popular in a certain decade, or?
No,
is that
no,
current?
you know, current, and he's making albums probably for the last, I would say for the last 30 years.
Oh, you know, looks like Julio pulled him up. Cool.
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
that
so Red
him?
Grammar.
Here? Cool. Right on. Thank you for doing that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a picture of him at rantradionetwork.com right now that's showing him.
cool.
Very cool.
He does have red
There you
hair.
go.
Yeah,
Great,
he
great.
does have red hair. So you know, one of the things that we were actually, and did you have, you know, one of the topics that we were covering tonight was actually just, obviously it's Firehouse Chefs Radio, so we were kind of tying in the flu season right now, and you know, every year continues to obviously just be pretty rough, and we obviously try to make sure that people know about some of the basics of just hand washing and all that good stuff. But you know, having a doctor here, I actually wanted to ask him about some of the home remedies and stuff like that you hear. Do you have a question or you know, maybe something that you've heard of that you're just kind of wondering about?
Yeah, I sure do. That was one of the reasons why I was calling.
Oh, cool.
Was I was wondering how effective is like these these type of multivitamin things that are out now. You're seeing so many different airborne, so many different products out there. How effective are they if you do it at the early signs of the symptoms of maybe of a flu coming on, if you take that?
That's a great question, Bob. Bob, yeah, that's a great question, Bob, and I get that all the time as a family physician. In general, supplements are a big snake oil industry, and so I'll just throw a big, huge cannonball through the industry there, saying that in general, it's snake oil. It's a bigger business and an older business than modern medicine, and it's still well and alive today. And that includes the things that we use over the counter to try to prevent these colds, including Emergency and other products. Their main ingredient that they use in it is vitamin C,
yeah.
which has been studied for decades to try to enhance the immune system to beat off or ward off the common cold. There's very little research on that, and there are small studies that show that maybe 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day. None of the other products, echinacea or any of the other things that are supposedly to be immune boosters, has great research. Now, that being said, it's hard to do great research. You really need
decades, right? I mean,
decades of studies, or at least several years of studies and validation studies, which do the same thing. And we just don't have those studies available. And so, as a physician, it's hard to see all these products make such claims and have them so widespread and so used without really proof that this stuff really works. Now, there's a thing called the placebo response. And for any given illness or something you're trying to treat, there can be up to a 30% positive response just because you think or you believe something might work. So there's something about the mind-body connection where if you really believe this is going to help you, 30% of the time, it's going to help you. And that's been validated in study after study where we get, we compare a specific treatment to a placebo, which is like a sugar pill. And you see about a 30% positive response with a sugar pill. So that makes it even tougher to tease out, is there any positive response to supplements like these things for colds?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And Bob, what about any sort of question pertaining to, or do you have any remedy that seems to make you feel a little bit better when you're under the weather?
No, I think just hydration. I think is probably the biggest thing, and then that just shows the power of the mind with this placebo. That a lot of things I think the mind can cure. And the way your attitudes towards maybe your illness.
That's absolutely true. I talk a lot about the 5 pillars of health in my practice as a family doctor. I go over those with all my patients during the physical. And you want to have a balance in life. And the 5 pillars of health are 5 specific things that you can do as an individual to maintain good health. And some are obvious, some are a little less obvious. So the obvious ones are sleep. If you're getting run down and not getting good sleep, as most firefighters get very interrupted sleep.
Very true.
And then you can have problems. If you travel a lot, you're not going to get good sleep. You're not going to get on regular hours. If you work too much, then your sleep can get off. There's obviously a lot of different things about sleep that people get in trouble with, including sleep apnea. So a lot of people are chronically sleep deficient, and that decreases your immune system and can cause a whole host of medical issues.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is diet. And as you know, Eddie, a good diet consists of whole foods.
Right.
Period. End of story.
Mm-hmm.
And we've gotten in a huge trouble in this country with convenience foods. And they're not comfort foods. It's a different thing.
Yeah.
Convenience foods are those things that can sit on a shelf for a year. You can pop them open and eat them, and you think you're getting some energy. Well, you are getting a little bit of energy, immediate energy, in the form of carbohydrates or sugars. But they're also empty calories because there's not a lot else other than just calories and immediate energy. And if you don't use that immediate energy, it gets stored as fat almost immediately. And these are breads, pastas, rice, cereals, all cereals, including oatmeal, all snack foods. Like I said, anything you put in a box and sell and can stick in a drawer or a cupboard. Fruit juices and sodas. And then the starchy vegetables, potatoes, peas, corn, and carrots. Those are all the things that I tell my patients to stay away from. And since I've been doing that over the past few years, when the paleo diet came out and these kind of protein diets came out in the last 10 years, it really shifted everything. And I went from a practice of not really helping anyone lose weight to giving very specific advice and really making a big dent. People come back and they've lost 50 pounds in a year because they've taken those simple steps of avoiding those complex carbohydrates that are really, really deadly.
Wow.
So diet's the second one.
So sleep, diet,
exercise. Mm-hmm. And exercise is really important for a lot of reasons. It's only about 10% of weight loss. So you can't really rely on exercise, or most people can't, unless you exercise 3-4 hours a day to lose weight. But there are so many other things. It improves brain function. You're less likely to get dementia. Definitely less likely to get
little feedback.
Yeah.
We're okay now.
Okay. Less likely to get heart disease and stroke. And the reason is that your blood vessels, all of your blood vessels, are lined by smooth muscle. And what does muscle do when you've been working it out? It's well toned. Mm-hmm. And the muscles will be more responsive to maintaining good blood pressure, which means good blood flow, which means good oxygen delivery in and adequate taking out all the toxins from all of your tissues. And so by maintaining good blood flow through regular exercise, and we recommend about an hour at least 4 days a week, so the majority of the week, with aerobic exercise, meaning you're getting your heart rate up, you're sweating, you got to go take a shower, then you're really doing the maximum there. And then two things that are a little less obvious. One is stress levels. And for example, they've done studies on...
Bob, are you still there? We might have lost Bob. But
sorry,
I'm sure
I kind of went off.
No. So I'm sure he's still listening. So and we're coming up on stress levels.
So stress levels, and I'll just give one quick example of that. There was a study done in England where they looked at work hours, and those that worked 8 hours or less had a 3 to 5 times decreased risk of a heart attack than those that worked 12 hours or more. And there's study after study on stress where the most common time of a heart attack is early Monday morning, also early Saturday morning. Interestingly enough, most common holiday is Christmas.
Yep.
And so there's a lot of specific problems that come up with stress.
Wow.
And then finally, relationships. There's been a lot of studies on relationships and mortality rates. When someone loses a spouse, they're much more likely to die in the following year or two. So, keeping our relationships clean are important. Yeah.
Well, they died together, so. Well, that was amazing. The 5 pillars of health?
Yes.
Okay. That was amazing, and thank you so much, Bob, from and it said on the screen, calling in from Northern California. So this is Firehouse Chefs Radio, episode 29, and stay tuned for some music. We promise we're going to get to the music in the next segment. Stay tuned for more. Don't burn anything down. Firehouse Chefs will be right back.
Add some crazy flavor to your vape pen. You're looking for something new and exciting in liquid vapor? Go to Crazy Cloud's e-Juice. Find them at burstoflavor.com and try any of the new 12 flavors they have available. Blueberry, mint, raspberry, chocolate, gummy bear, hemp, watermelon, cola, orange, pina colada, coconut, or Red Bully. Call us today at 855-WE-BURST or visit us at burstoflavor.com and order yours today.
The Share Foundation is the health division of the Coy Chiropractic Institute, a 501c3 509A2 public nonprofit organization dedicated to the growth and development of the natural healthcare services, in particular through the chiropractic profession, offering health services at the Share clinics in the greater Los Angeles area. Your donations can help in expanding these facilities across the nation, research programs, and public education, thus offering a solution to the many of the health challenges we face. Your donations are tax deductible and can be sent through our website at www.sharefoundation.com. That's www.cherfoundation.com by clicking on the donation button. Thank you.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
Number one. Number one.
Is that a stutter or as high as you can count?
I was ordering number one.
Everybody's asking for number one.
Great, another fancy bottle.
These guys are true artists. Never compromise integrity. They make tequila
Come
the
on.
old-fashioned way. Never mass produced.
So what are you saying?
I'm saying have the number one. Anything less is number two. Number one. Number one, tequila.
Welcome to FireHouse Chefs. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and I will take you on a journey with America's chefs, firefighters, service industry professionals, and more as we discuss food, recipes, nutrition, and lifestyle topics. Stay tuned and enjoy the ride. Welcome back to FireHouse Chefs Radio. What an amazing show we're having tonight. So I really hope everybody is tuning in out there because we're actually just being educated on some really great stuff by somebody who's actually really super cool and knows how to play an instrument too. So that's pretty rad. This is FireHouse Chefs Radio for February 12th, 2014, episode 29. I'm your host, Eddie Sell, and you're watching FireHouse Chefs Radio, where you can catch us every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time at rantradionetwork.com. And we're joined in studio by Dr. Todd Foreman, who is a Southern California native, and it's been a really fun show so far tonight. And we promised that we're going to get to his music, so we definitely we mentioned earlier that he was a member of the band Sublime. He actually went on tour with them for a year, right?
Yeah, well, there was the original band Sublime that I played with and toured with a little bit, and then I got a second chance. In 2010, I went on tour with Sublime with Rome, which
okay.
consisted of Bud Gaw on drums and Eric Wilson on bass. I played keyboards and percussion and my horns, and then Rome Ramirez was the new lead singer. And we all got a great experience out of touring the world with all the great Sublime songs. That's pretty awesome, and I mean, yeah, obviously Sublime has there's so many catchy songs, and they're so well known, and it's really unfortunate, obviously, what happened to one of the original members, Bradley, and we had a recent somebody, Philip Seymour Hoffman, who obviously recently passed away of drug overdose, and it's something that I see in my line of work on a pretty regular basis, unfortunately. So that's an unfortunate thing, but we're so glad to have Todd here with us, and he just went over the 5 pillars of health, and that was really, really interesting, actually, to find that out, and it's direct correlation with obviously what we talk about here on FireHouse Chefs Radio when we try to provide you with, again, and you guys that know kind of my stance on things, I believe in just moderation and just making sure that you're aware of these different things so you can make informed choices, and don't say no to all the bad food, but obviously that should not be your staple diet every day. So
it was great to kind of be able to talk about those things. So now let's dive into the music. And Todd is a founding member of the band, the Jelly of the Month Club, and as we mentioned, there's the album cover. They have written songs that are geared towards kids. What age group is there?
We explicitly talked about this in creating the album, and we're all guys and all kids at heart, and we wanted to write music for kids 8 years old and up.
Cool.
So that preteen boy thing is kind of what we were going with.
Kind of the Lego age.
Yeah, the Lego age and up, and we it turns out that the album really is great for all ages, 1 to 101 for boys and girls. But that's kind of the audience we had in mind.
And I do know in talking to Todd before that you guys played a show recently at the House of Blues. How'd that turn out?
Yeah, well, if I'd like to describe the lineup for you of the guys in the band. This band came out through touring with Sublime with Rome. I was on a tour bus with Bud Gaw, the drummer, and his daughter Chloe, and we were watching a lot of Disney movies.
There's some pictures up on the screen.
Yeah, there's Bud in the middle there.
Okay.
And we were watching a lot of Disney movies at the time, and I think it was The Princess and the Frog that was on, which was just fantastic, New Orleans style music going on. And I turned to Bud and I said, wouldn't it be great once we get off this roller coaster rock and roll if someday we formed a kids band and got Bert Suzanka from the Ziggins to be the lead singer? And he loved the idea, and it's like, cool, well, he's in the middle of Sublime with Rome world tour. I'm the horn player. It's like we're pretty far away from something like that, but at the same time, we're sitting there watching Princess and the Frog in the tour bus, with his daughter sleeping in the back. So it didn't seem too far stretched to me, and I knew Bert Suzanka. I don't know if people are familiar with his band, the Ziggins. They came up at the same time as Sublime did, and Sublime, even Brad wrote a few songs using lyrics from Bert's songs as Ziggins. Bert Suzanka is the lead singer of that band, and they're kind of a surf cowpunk band that still play around town. They're fantastic.
Okay.
And he's just got the perfect face for a kid's band. He's got a pompadour hairdo and wears a big fluffy fuzzy hat, on stage, and he's got that there. I forget the name of it, that green mossy thing there. But he just has a great sensibility. Some of the Ziggins songs I took my mom to the prom, and just fantastic songwriting.
Yeah.
So I knew he'd be great. And then when I came back off tour in 2011, I had built a home studio and really got myself back into music again, which was great. And my wife was awesome, and that's a whole nother story about how she kind of gave me permission to go searching and get back into my music again when we moved back to Long Beach in 2005. But with that studio, some of the young guys in town who are great musicians and have great bands, Mike Dangerously, his name's Mike De La Torre, but goes by Mike Dangerously, the guy in the fedora hat. Oh, yeah, there with the Run LBC shirt on.
Uh-huh.
He's the lead singer of a band called Zen Robbie, and those guys are like a Red Hot Chili Peppers on steroids. They're just fantastic, and they've been playing over a decade in the Long Beach area. So he was coming around the studio, and we were jamming, and I told him the idea about a kids band. He's like, that sounds fantastic. Play with my idols, Bert Suzanka and Bud Gaw from Sublime. That sounds like a great idea. So he was into it, and then he recruited his friend, Chris Crum, who goes by Mr. Crum, who's just a phenomenal guitarist and multi-instrumentalist and singer. So we actually developed this super group of 3 fantastic singer-songwriters who all have a knack for writing kids' music, with a couple of guys from Sublime, and the album just turned out great.
That's so cool.
So we recently played a gig at the House of Blues Anaheim, and we weren't sure how it was going to go because they booked it the same day as the 2 semifinal NFL
That's right.
games prior to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And we were just, when I found that out on New Year's Eve, I was like, oh no, this isn't going to be good. But we actually got over 500 people there. It was a booming
awesome.
room.
Good
and
for you guys.
tons of kids and families, and it was a fantastic show. We had 8 different musicians on stage. We had a whole multimedia thing going on with a friend of ours, Rob Perez, did all these videos. He works at Knott's Berry Farm, and just put together quite a show for everybody. So we're pretty excited about it.
Well, that sounds amazing. And let's go ahead and let's play something. Let's play a little cut of something, Julio.
Mr. Bullfrog sitting on the lily pad singing a song. He's been hopping along all day. He loves to sing, play
Very
his
mellow,
guitar,
very mellow, which is nice.
Yeah, it's inviting. You know, this is the first song we usually play live, and then when we hit the chorus, people really get excited.
He never hung out on the lawn with any of the other frogs for a while.
Imagine yourself floating down the bayou.
Is that the chorus right now?
Fireflies. It's a comet. Fireflies.
Heard the frog and he stopped
Sarsaparilla.
on by. He said,
Hey there, frog, I'm a banjo player. Let's make this a duo. What do you say?
the frog said, there's nothing like a brand new friend.
So that's Mike De La Torre. He wrote this.
There's nothing like a brand new friend. So Mr. Bullfrog and Mr. Firefly singing their song.
So after we kind of got this band together,
They're
Mike
both playing along.
Shishobi's like, how about this song? And this was the song.
This is very cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, they love to
Oh,
sing.
there you guys are.
Strum
Yeah.
those
Stage.
guitar.
Yep, we've got music videos. That's from one of our music.
We can
Then one day,
stop this one, Julio, and if you're able to, are you able to go to another quick cut so the fans out there can hear a little sample of something different?
Yeah, and that's our album. One thing we're proud of with the album is very eclectic. We call it Americana music, where it's got a lot of different genres, very specific genres that we wanted to really highlight for kids. We not only wanted to be a band that was directed with lyrics towards kids, but also be music ambassadors for kids, so they really understand, just like I did when I was in 3rd grade and that guy came and played all those different instruments.
Sure.
And I became enamored with the saxophone. I want kids to go home and tell their mom and dad, I want to play that.
That's awesome. And this is Dolphins and Porpoises.
Dolphins and Porpoises. My son Carter got on this track doing some of the dolphin sounds.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
Bert Susanka sings this and wrote this song.
Perfect. How about one more? How about one more so we can hear a little bit more before we wrap up tonight's FHC Radio? Oh, this is a super catchy one.
Yeah.
Super catchy.
Yeah. Crumb and I wrote the song to it, the music to it, and Crumb and Mike wrote the lyrics for this and came up with a great storyline.
oh, wipe that lovely day to sell some lemonade. I'm on the sit-up shop.
And it's positive messages, which is really important. And I think that's what I think kids and I think the world just needs. Trust me, I beat my head against a wall all the time when it comes to Firehouse chefs in general. When it comes to either, as you know, trying to get like television shows or some of the other stuff, because some people don't get it sometimes, and I think it's good for people to have some wholesome programming and good mentors and all that stuff.
That's right.
It doesn't matter what walk of life you do, but if you have a message and you're a positive person, that's what it's all about.
That's great. Yeah, and we want to be a band of positivity. We've already played at Children's Hospital Orange County. They have a music studio there that was donated by Ryan Seacrest. And we've been to Miller Children's Hospital in Long Beach. We've played a couple of carnivals for local elementary schools, and we just want to be a band that really is known for highlighting service. We donated over $500 to a school program for inner city kids in East Los Angeles for music programs.
Well, that's awesome.
And as a band, you can do that. You can kind of enhance the voice of these great influences in our society, and music can do so much. In that way, we definitely want to do that.
Well, it was amazing having you here tonight, and you mentioned East Los Angeles, so that reminds me of the Boys and Girls Club of East LA, and my buddy Lewis is now the president of them, and we do a lot of work with them, which is awesome.
We'd love to get involved with Boys and Girls Club.
and we will. We'll make those connections. And also to Jesse Torres and Alex Pinaloza at Pan American Bank. I have to give a little shout out. That's where I was last Wednesday, speaking on behalf of programs that they're doing for veterans out there, and specifically small business owners. So again, just want to say thank you to everybody for listening tonight, and it was a fantastic episode of FHC Radio. Where can everybody find Jelly of the Month Club real quick before we go?
Sure, we have our own website at jellyofthemonthclubband.com. and we have a Facebook page, jellyofthemonthclub.com. So find us there, and my email's on there. We're an open book.
Cool.
We're ready to have a good time.
And just we're also going to be working together on some future stuff, and so you're going to hear lots more about Todd, about Jelly a Month Club, and ultimately about some stuff that we're going to do together. So thank you so much for being on tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone out there for listening to Firehouse Chefs Radio. Stay tuned for future episodes, and remember to go to rantradionetwork.com, click on Firehouse Chefs Radio, and find those archived episodes. Have a good night. Thanks for tuning in to FHC Radio. Catch us every Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m. Pacific Time by visiting firehousechefs.com and rantradionetwork.com.